Oh, I'm just... Check. Other side of the door. Check. Oh, I'm sorry. Check, 1, 2. All right, so we just want to let everybody know, while we're out here today, we have been honoring our ancestors of 1619. This is where the first Africans were brought to America. So right now we'll be having a ceremony that's pretty much viral, and we'll be honoring the ancestors who first started this journey here in 1619, starting us to where we are today as Africans in America.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and read this. The first documented Africans in Virginia arrived here in August 1619 on the White Lion, an English privateer based in the Netherlands. Colonial officials traded food for these 20 and odd Africans who had been captured from a Portuguese slave ship. Among present-day Hampton's earliest African residents were Atney and Isabel. Their son William was the first child of African ancestry, known to have been born in Virginia in 1624. Many of the earliest Africans were held as slaves, but some individuals became free. A legal framework for hereditary lifelong slavery in Virginia evolved during the 1600s. The United States abolished slavery in 1865.
Thank you. So we do believe that to start the end of the racism, to start the end of what is known as the plague of being black in America, we feel like we have to start directly where the roots started. This is where our pain started. This is where our ancestors' journey started. And to think about it, we were brought across these waters in 1619, not knowing where we were coming to, not knowing why we were coming here. And here we are in 2021, still fighting for equality, still fighting for justice, still fighting for justice for Xavier Hill, still fighting for justice for Demario Joyner, still fighting for justice for Matthew Rushing, still fighting for justice for Chan Turner, still fighting for justice for India Kager, still fighting for justice for William Chapman, still fighting for justice for Ty Gregory. And unfortunately, this list continues to go on. We are not free. The Constitution was not written for us. The Constitution was written to keep us enslaved. So across these waters we came, and right at the street of Yorktown, the Confederate soldiers fired on U.S. troops to make sure that we remained slaves. But thankfully, just like Donald Trump, they lost. We are no longer slaves, but we do still have a long road ahead of us. We are still mistreated. We are still oppressed. We are still met with genocide. We are still met with gerrymandering. We are still met with mass incarceration. And we also have to address community violence within ourselves. But again, that comes back to mental health and having resources and the means to get out of where we are. So we will not blame ourselves for the situation that was put upon us, bringing us to a land that we never asked to be for in the first place. We will continue to fight for our freedom. We will continue to honor our ancestors. We can only thank God that we don't have dogs sicked on us and hoes sprayed on us. We can only thank God that we don't have hammers and nails placed on our teeth, knocking our teeth out if we say something out of line. We can thank God we aren't turned upside down and castrated by our private parts. We can thank God there's no longer a gun line. We can thank God for everything. For our life, our strength, our children. But until all of us are free, none of us are free. So with that being said, again, we are here to honor our ancestors. Make sure that we have not forgotten them. We have not forgotten where the journey began. And with all powers of the ancestors and everybody above, we will be where it ends. This will be the last generation. Our children will not have this fight. They'll be able to chill and kick it with whoever they please, without fear of racism, without fear of bullying, without fear of repercussions. And until our kids are free, trust and believe until my last breath, I'm going to be out here. So with that being said, we'll be honorarily releasing the doves. For those who are not familiar with the situation with the ceremonial dove release, is traditionally done honoring the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and having your families go. But today, we do have a different symbolization. The first set of doves will be representing our ancestors who came here in 1619, who ascended well before us. The second set of doves will be our ancestors that got us through the civil rights movement of the 60s. And the last doves will be us, the new movement, BLS 757, Black Lives Matter, and all the freedom fighters of 2020 and beyond, and even before. We've been on this journey since 2017, coming up on our 5th year. With the support of the community, we will continue to grow. We will continue to make change. We will continue to get results for every story and every situation that we are fighting for. So, without further ado, I'd like to, with this first dove, this will be our ancestors of 1619. We thank you all for your sacrifice, and we could have a brief 10 seconds of silence, and at the end of that, we release our first dove. Thank you. And with this, we release. Thank you, ancestors. It is for honor our ancestors who fought, Malcolm, Martin, John Lewis, and all who chose. And just like us, we're rambunctious. We don't wait for nobody. We out here. Thank you. That's definitely the spirit of us, as you can see here. This is all of us together. One mission, one team. Thank you, ancestors. And trust and believe, when we all get to the heavens together, we'll frolic just like that as well. Thank y'all.